Hi, it's Victoria Lorient-Fabish, holistic psychotherapist. Today I would like to address a topic that is extremely common with people who are having very difficult relationships either with themselves or with others. I'm talking about codependency or the codependent relationship. Firstly, where does it all begin? Codependency is very much an over-enmeshment with the other person, overly preoccupied with what the other person is feeling, thinking, or saying. A common experience in the codependent person is they're apologizing constantly. They're apologizing for even taking up any space or for having needs. I've seen people have full-on anxiety attacks when they start to tune in to what it is that they need and want in a relationship. And usually this begins from very early on in childhood when a baby is perceiving their environment very acutely, and they are seeing that their mother is not giving them what it is they need in the way that they need it. They may be loving them and giving them the nurturing and the food and the shelter, but not in the way that they need it. And so the baby or the child starts to develop this sort of personality style that's either extremely apathetic and not really having any needs, or extremely self-sufficient, talking too early, walking too early. And then what occurs later on in life is that that kind of dynamic perpetuates itself in adult relationships in which they're either constantly feeling like they need to perform or not actually be authentic in order to avoid being rejected or avoid being abandoned or avoid being somehow criticized or mocked or being angered at. So the person is constantly acting in ways to influence how the other person behaves with them. It's very controlling, but they don't mean to be controlling. They're just trying to not feel pain. And in that sense, it's quite a compulsive way of being. It's quite an addictive way of being, in that if they don't act in that way to try and apologize constantly, try and do what it is they feel that the other person wants, they will feel the pain of feeling their own feelings, which is quite painful if they've never been trained to do so, and feeling their own wants and needs, and also they'll feel the pain of possibly the fear of being abandoned. And this constant apologizing for even existing is very common among codependent people. And the only way around this is to self-care, and is to start to really, really see yourself as a priority, because that's the only way you're going to get out of these types of relationships in which, unfortunately, I was just working with someone very recently that they're in a relationship that's very codependent in that they don't want to hurt the other person. They're doing everything they can to make sure that the other person is okay. Meanwhile, they are forgetting themselves, and they're ending up in affairs because they're not getting what they need from their own relationship. So they end up cheating on their relationship because somehow they feel that that's where they're going to get what they need, but they can't be really truthful in their own primary relationship. So it's really a very, very painful place for this person and for anyone involved in codependency. Tenets of codependency are very low self-esteem, really not knowing what they're feeling at all, a need to control or manipulate the environment in order to feel safe, also staying in harmful situations or in situations that are not supporting of them way too long. Way too long, like on and on, years and years of being in a relationship that they're not happy at all. Also, they compromise their own values in order to fit in and to be like a chameleon in their relationships. Just looking at my list here, a big time tenet of a codependent person is they minimize how they feel. They deny how they feel. They're confused often about what they actually feel. And they judge themselves very harshly. And consequently, they actually become quite judgmental of other people as well. The codependent life and the codependent person is really no different from an addiction, but it's not an addiction to a substance per se. It's more of an addiction to self, not addiction to self, addiction to people and emotions, so that they're not able to free themselves from this cycle of constantly feeling like they're not good enough, or constantly feeling like they need to apologize for their existence, and etc. All the things I talked about earlier. Please visit Codependence Anonymous if you do find yourself in this way. And also, look at their literature, because they have lots of really, really good information there. Get into a support group of some kind, and also get some therapy, because in therapy, someone is going to be listening to you, hearing you, providing you with a real sense of perspective, and helping you to find out what it is that you actually feel, want, need. All right? Once again, I'm asking for your questions and comments. Please subscribe to this channel, and I'm always thinking about you. And I will be telling you about articles in the near future. Okay? Have a great day.